so secretive and also that I'm so insecure. But then I realized that I'm very secure with the fact that I'm insecure because I'm so fucking self-aware. And anyways, I think that's what people need to start doing is becoming self-aware and start realizing that we all have faults. Or as Jason Selkad in his band, The Perfect Flaw, should have trademarked that name because it's perfect. I mean, look at the whole concept of the archangels. All right, as explained to me, and you got to admit it makes sense. So even if it was my imagination, it would make a great thesis. That when you're talking about the perfect human, we're not talking about like the perfect as in they do everything as we have constructed in the world as perfect. But you have, as was quoted in the Bible, God said to Noah, I want you to take every species of animal and place it into the ark to save it from the flood. Now scholars are saying, okay, well, think of it this way. We want you to take every type of human being, every type of experience, female, male, and place it into one individual. Now, what are you going to get if you place all of that negativity and all of that positivity into a person? What would that person be called? That's right. Sexy. No. Bipolar. Now watch this. Watch this. See, you don't watch as many of the shows that I used to watch. Remember everyone was talking about the pole shift? The poles are going to shift. They thought the planet was going to flip over. At this point, let me just tell you this much, and I really wouldn't say that. I don't say this on the YouTube videos. I'll tell you this much because I'm not even going to post this on YouTube. I have done like studies, like I've floated kites as I call them, and gone out and seen what people know and compared to what I know, and then seen what happens. So, in other words, I have a cause to think something, I write it down, I put it in detail, and then I watch it occur, or I see how it occurs. And as you have brilliantly pointed out and helped me improve, it doesn't always happen like you think it will. But now, because I know that, it's starting to happen like I think it will. Because why? It's never going to be how I think it's going to happen, so I think of it a little differently. And to put it mildly, like, I don't know how to tell you this, but I feel like I need to tell you this. I know a lot of shit. I know a lot of shit. And I don't know if there is this direct connection between me and your mind. Because I've told you I'm fairly confident that whether it's you on a higher dimension, I don't know how that works, not my department. You are the one who is feeding me this information. I've said that from the early days. I can feel your presence. I can feel female. I can feel male. Hey, look at me when I said that. I said that I thought that Gabriel or Gabriella was female. Oh, well, they can be female or male. It was 2 weeks later that I said that. And I thought that was kind of a radical thing to say. I mean, when you say stuff like I say, you don't come out and talk shit about the gods of the Bible. And I said the gods. Why? Because there's more than one God. I mean, they teach me amazing things. You know, I may have the specifics a little off, okay? But there's something called the Council of 12. I thought that was a UFO term. The Council of 12 is exactly what you think it is. It's the Council of 12. They're sitting up there in a circle, and they're watching all of us walking around, and a guy's beating up a black guy, thinking, hey, look at me, boss. Not realizing he's going to go back to the mob boss, and the mob boss is going to go, do you realize you just jumped my best fucking friend? We look really stupid when you realize they're all partying. The Council of 12. These gods, they all communicate amongst each other. And of course there are gods above other gods. Just like you have a grandparent that's above your mom, and just like your mom is above you. Well, at least in a sense of age and somewhat of respect. You know, why is it that God makes all these evil things happen in the world? Right? Remember you told me that about Justin, who I don't even know if that guy really died. But whatever, when people OD on heroin, when bad things happen to good people, why does God allow that? Wow. That's what I said when I saw it. Did it occur to you that maybe this God, this parent, this father that loves us so much that one person on the planet, crying and screaming for help, would cause him to go and mess with the mechanisms, or as I like to call them, the chess pieces. Because you see, when I pray for something or I want something, I realize he doesn't wave a magic wand. That's not going to work. It can happen. But it throws off the balance of the universe. You have to have that balance. People have this idea like all of a sudden you can just create a giant flood. You can't just create a giant flood. You have to have clouds forming. You have to have raindrops building up water. It has to be this slow process. So he moves chess pieces until you can checkmate. But when he started showing me some of the things of how he was doing it, I realized All of these people on earth think that he is guilty for all these bad things happening. There is no God because God allows these things to happen, and you don't realize it's because other gods before him have tied his hands behind his back. The machine that runs that thing, the machine that runs karma, the one that you would be like, I didn't know, it's not my fault, and you'd kiss ass to, and you'd probably get off for it, doesn't have a conscience. That's the point. You can't weasel your way, talk your way, or pay your way out of it. It's a machine that runs that way. But imagine what it's like for a God that does look at you like a child, like a father figure, like a mother figure, looking down, and they know what's going to come. Doesn't look like I have a little weird man above my right shoulder. It happens all the time. Anyways, they can't do anything because the mechanism is already set in order. I mean, these are answers that I'm getting off the top of my head. Again, let's say I'm just imagining them. It's taking me no effort to imagine them. They're just being force-fed into my mind. That's why I'm talking so quick. It's not because I'm messed out. It's because they come so quick. They're brilliant ideas. They're brilliant ideas. I can put them into a movie. I mean, you don't even want to know, and this comes to my main source that I want to talk to you about, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way, but who cares anymore? That's kind of what's happening with me, and I want to see if it's happening with you. Because when I talk to other people, well, now I'm drunk. Do you notice that you almost become more connected with the ethereal world than you do the material world? You almost start to bond more with yourself when you're alone, and this other world that you live in, more so than anything else around you, so that you are so loyal to yourself, so loyal to your world, that I'm not saying you're going to go out and rob a bank, as much as I'm saying you really don't care what they say anymore, because you realize who your real friend is, and it's you. And that's kind of how I felt. I have all these other friends around me all the time, that now it's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Give Jillian the wrong impression? What if she gives me the wrong impression? She remembers things that happened. Okay, I'm an adult. I'm a guy. I'm not some fucking little kid nerd who's I didn't mean that about anybody, but I'm just saying, you're a pretty girl, but get over it. I worked in Hollywood, you know? And I always think that she's like, why does she think I want her like that? You know what I mean? Like, yes, girls have wanted me like that. Why? Because when you're not that good looking, you tend to have to build yourself up as a good personality. It's the way it works, right? That's why all the good-looking people are typically assholes, and all the people who don't look that good, they're always your best friends. You notice how the heavyset girl, the fat girl, is always the coolest chick. Always the coolest chick. And so you have to start working on that. And then what happens? Then you start, going to the gym and looking all sexy, and then, I don't know, maybe reverses. But whatever, the point is, that's the way these dualities work in life. You get the good and you get the bad. And I told you, I wouldn't fucking dare want to ever be with someone like you. And when I say that, you're misunderstanding me. We're looking at it like a soap opera. Keep in mind, whatever the New Agers want to say about us reaching higher levels of consciousness, it's happening. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but I'll tell you what, when it comes to experiencing it and mystical consciousness is apparently what I've been experiencing when I'm getting, like, really hitting on target with ideas. Like, I give you ideas from music, and it's like the song is singing a soundtrack to what you're doing at that moment. A mystical consciousness is apparently something very rarely reached by most people, and it's supposed to be one that's reached by the divine. In other words, the way it's described to me by Alan Watts, not personally, but the way it's described, is that I think I'm God. Hold on. That's how it feels. You do think. I think I'm God. Right. I think exactly like God. It's as if me and God are in perfect congruent thought process. In other words, I'm sharing the mind state of a God. Maybe I'm sharing the mind state with you. And that's when we begin to flow, and you can start seeing where all these things happen. But what I was going to say was, what changed my mind about everything had nothing to do with any kind of like desire or anything like that. That's what upsets me. Because you know that I do take pride in the fact that, no, I'm not saying it was that hard, but it did take a lot of effort and a lot of lonely nights to want to be single for that long. And you know why I was, because it was part of loyalty to the idea of Wendy. All right? And you were the only person something almost even happened with. And I swear to Christ, I promise myself, that is the last time I will ever, ever fall for another person. Because I know health hath no fury like a woman scorned. I didn't realize what had happened that night. I didn't realize what had happened. It was just a bad deal. But the point being is, I didn't want to deal with anybody. I just, I've never had a situation happen like that. And I don't know if you're noticing, all of a sudden, you would think, Don should become more of a kook to me. He should become more weird. Maybe it's because things are becoming more real and you're seeing that the whole world now is agreeing with Don. You notice that? I told you that would happen. Sorry, I had to say it. What? One day, everyone's going to wish they were me. Why? Because it's not just that they're saying the things I'm saying. I know what's going on. And that worries me. Why? Because when I see the really crazy shit, I don't want to have to get on a podium and have to explain it to people. It's difficult to explain to people. Don't be scared of anything that you're seeing. It's part of a test. Oh no, it was a trick. I thought it was God the whole time, and now it's the devil. That's been happening, right? You'll be getting these moments of fear. I've made the wrong decision. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's wrong. Just go with the flow. That's my attitude. Let's just have fun. Let's just have fun with this. But when I presented to you one of my Don things, my Donisms, because I'm Don, it was that yes, it was more of a vision, but it was like nothing I've had before. Where when this is about 4 years ago, basically not going off on you, but I was being presented a case about you. Okay, I had been told that I thought it was an alien for years or whatever, but then I'm being told, no, you basically represent what is an archangel, and yes, Michael is your representation. I'm like, am I the real archangel? They're like, we don't tell you that because it'll affect your judgment. So they don't tell me, this is important to know. This is important to know for you to know also, okay? All right, because I know you keep things sealed. And I know a lot of things, Jillian. I know a lot of things that there's no use to even explain it to people. You know what I mean? There's just no use. And I know I'm not alone. The one thing that's interesting about me is I talk about it. And you know why? The whole secret society thing. People are scared. I'm not scared to talk about it. So it's really a beautiful thing. And I'm not lying when I say I act crazy. Why? Because I don't want people to know I'm not normal. They'll figure me out. They'll figure me out in my head. As Henry Rollins once said, I don't want to battle my mind again. The last time was too heavy and I lost. So it's much easier for me to be zany and kooky and for you to wonder, is he really funny like that? Is he a Robin Williams type? Or is he fucking, got some issues and he's trying his... Is he a crazy person acting normal or a normal person acting crazy? The fact of the matter is, I'm D, all of the above. I like to party, but I'm not that bad of a drug addict. I'm not. All right? Especially when I have something that around me that takes up my time and keeps me busy, and the awakening has done that for me. But my emotions started changing about things by themselves. That had never happened before. If there's anything, I can always put up a wall. It won't get me. What? It doesn't matter who this person is. They cannot affect my heart. And it was last December that changed in such a way that it didn't matter what the other person felt. It scared the shit out of me. It scared the living shit out of me. That I was like holding on and it was pulling me towards something. Don't know if you're feeling anything like that. But you were kind of implying, and maybe I read too far into it, this weekend it was coming back again because I've really pushed myself away from that. What? In all honesty, why do I care if Jillian is okay? I'm sure she is fucking fine. She's not abducted or she's not lying dead on the side of the street. But I'll go through these waves of like really worrying about what's going on with you. Like really worrying. Like not like, oh, how's my baby? It's nothing like that. It is a deep, like, it is a total human being bond connection. Like they talk about, like that whole spiritual element. But yeah, no, you were not somebody who, I mean, even still with some of the lies you told me, I don't want to get into this thing about John. You're just a nut. You see, but that's the thing. That's what they showed me. What are you doing? What are you doing? And what am I doing? What am I doing? I mean, I'm out of my mind. You're out of your mind in a different way. And I did not imagine what they showed me, and they showed me something, and what I saw was, it just blew me away to the extent that I just had nothing else to say, and within that minute I changed my opinion about you. At least in the sense of thinking that you were like just a girlfriend of mine. Because it made complete sense. It was one of those things, you'll notice this a lot. It was an answer that had never been proposed to me. But when the answer was proposed, I didn't even have to think about it to know that's the right answer. Oh my God, how did you know that? Peanut butter and the chocolate theory. And I had always known that there was something different, the proof is in the pudding. That was weird. Didn't mean to say that. Didn't mean to be insulting. But, do you see, I don't know if you saw it. I saw it right away and they showed it to me right away. All right? But God knows, me and you, synchronicity tells us over and over again, boom, you're my punching bag. Boom, we bump heads all the time. It's terrible. Now the fact of the matter is, and I put this on my soul, that's the funny part about it, is I want to eliminate any idea that you think I'm trying to imply that this is some kind of cult sex thing. Nothing like that at all. Nothing like that at all. In fact, I don't know, you mentioned people like to be pursued and this and that. Go after John. Maybe you're supposed to be in an orgy. Maybe you're supposed to have sex with the whole world. I don't know what's going on, Jillian. All I know is I want to have fun. Finally, let's have fun. And I know that I can have a lot of fun with you. Why? Because I don't think you're real with me all the time, and I'm not real with you. But when they showed me this mixture of two honest people together, especially you and me, it was like the Big Bang Theory.